much energy. Put in your booby rocks. Live your best life. Keep doing you. So much energy. Let's stick together with some high kicks. Bow, bow. Okay, everybody, welcome to this episode of So Much Energy. It's me, Jenny McKitty, and I am running solo again this week. Jeff Jones is, I thought he would be back this week. He will not, but he'll be back eventually. And this week, I am so excited. So we actually had a Jen last week with us, and now we have Jennifer this week. I am so excited for this. So Jennifer Pressimone is a clinical aromatherapist. She's an herbalist, author, motivational speaker, and a scent intuitive, which I'm sure you want to know more about because I'm going to ask. So hang in there. Okay, she is the CEO of JennScents, and it's JENN scents, like the smell, ink. Yes, she's providing holistic products and education to help others heal deeply, to live fully through their power of holistic aromatherapy. I am so excited, Jennifer, for you to be here. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Oh my gosh, I love your energy. I love your hair.
Oh, thanks.
So much fun. I'm so honored to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So just to kind of give you an idea, so usually when Jeff Jones and I are together, we started a topic wheel. And aromatherapy was actually on our topic wheel. And so one time at the end of another episode, we spun the wheel, and I thought, okay, great. And we tried to find somebody who was familiar with aromatherapy or had something to offer in that way. I couldn't get the guest that we were looking for. She had to wait a little bit. And then I thought, let me post it in the podcast group. And that's exactly what happened. And then your friend tagged you, thank goodness. And so now here we are. And I think that was this was a few weeks back that we had been trying to coordinate this. So thanks everybody for hanging in there after the wheel of topics.
I love that you picked aromatherapy. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. My mom is big into essential oils and aromatherapy, all the good smell goods, and the benefits of those, which we're super excited about. So can you tell us a little bit about JennScents, how that came about, and then what your products are and why?
Oh gosh, yeah, certainly. I mean, like everybody, we have different versions of ourselves throughout our lifetime. And in my former careers, I was an insurance underwriter and banking. Paper intensive, very highly stressful job. And I ended up getting sick. And I ended up with Crohn's, colitis, horrible gut issues that almost cost me my life. So they had sent me to hospice, gave me 6 months to live. And I went to the local herb shop thinking maybe they could give me something to make the end of my life, a little bit nicer. And obviously I'm still here. So they shared with me a little bit about essential oils, and I was so gravitated to them because they worked. The first oil I was introduced to was Roman chamomile, and the woman who owned the herb shop at the time, she made me a little roll-on with Roman chamomile and apricot carrier oil and said, it's supposed to help your cramps and everything else and your mood and emotions that go with it. And it worked. And then it kept working over and over. And I just started getting better. And then I had people asking me, what are you doing? And can you do it for me too? And so that's how I started learning about oils and which ones worked well together. And I started making products, and then that was already going. And then the same lady who owned the herb shop, she's still my best friend today and my mentor. And she's like, you already have a business. So you need to come up with a name And you need to start figuring that out. And sitting at the kitchen table, I was with my husband, my mom, and my father, and we were just brainstorming, and JennScents kind of came out. We're like, oh yeah, I really like that. It infuses my journey into the scent journey. And then JennScents started almost 22 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that is amazingly awesome. Especially because with essential oils now, I mean, I feel like they've, been bigger in the last few years, but how amazing for you to have started your journey back then,
Yeah.
Wow.
I go back and I look at my business plan, because I had a business. I'm like, oh, I guess I need to figure out how to run a business. I didn't realize being an entrepreneur was never on my radar. Running a business was never on my radar. So I started writing a business plan, and every year I review it. And the very first one, it was, I want to contribute to helping make aromatherapy a household name.
Ooh.
And I love today, it is a household name.
Yeah.
I think through all of the education and sharing products and helping people the way I was helped, you're right. It really is known. It's gaining popularity. And I think more people are gravitating to it because it doesn't just smell good, but it makes you feel good.
Right. So to go back to your story and the start, did you just kind of roll that on your person then? Is that what you did? You just kind of rolled it in certain spots? Yeah.
The first product I tried, I watched, the lady make it up, and she just put a few drops in a roll-on. She just put a few drops of the essential oil with the carrier, because I'm a big advocate for diluted. And so we just had a roll on, and I rubbed it on my belly, and anybody with IBS or Crohn's, or know anybody who's had severe gut issues, you wake up in the morning just in severe pain, cramping, just don't feel good, nauseousness, got a headache, you just don't feel good. So I would sleep with it underneath my pillow, and I would grab it, roll it on my stomach, roll it on my temples, on my wrists, so I could keep smelling it, and it calmed everything down. And one of the things about Roman chamomile, I'll just throw out, it's highly antispasmodic. So that's why it was calming the cramps and the angst that was happening. And chamomile happens to be, in the herbal world, it's known as the caretaker. So if you need to be taken care of, or you're helping take care of somebody else, it's a caretaker oil.
Gotcha.
So that's how I started using it and just smelling it. And it really made a difference on physically how I felt, but mentally and emotionally was the biggest surprise.
Right. Gotcha. I love that. Our best friends, their son was just diagnosed with Crohn's, and I know that he has a lot of issues. So yes, we will definitely be ordering some of that for him. Yeah. The intestinal soother was the very first product, and I've kind of perfected it, but that was my first product as JennScents. Of course, for myself, everything I made was either for myself or for a client, and everything just evolves from there. So I would love to help support him on his journey. That's amazing. Have you had any crazy requests kind of for somebody to make an oil for fill in the blank? Or what is your craziest request?
I don't know that I can reveal that publicly. Yes, I've had some. Yes. I've had some interesting ones.
Yes.
A lot of people, the rest of that story is, I started the business. I ended up with an aromatherapy bar, a non-alcoholic aromatherapy bar. People would come and tell me their woes, and I'd make them up something, and they would leave. And of course, people want to come and tell me their results, but there was a lot of show and tell, showing the results that they got in some very, crazy places. But I think in the beginning, it's a little shy to talk about sex. And libido. And for me at the time, I was in my 20s when I started the company, and I would have women coming to me who was in menopause, after menopause, having vaginal dryness and painful sex. And
Right.
that was a challenge to just, I listen. The biggest thing is to listen. Tell me what's going on.
Sure.
Because you take those keywords. And one thing that I've always done from day one is everything that I make has two sides. Well, really three sides to it. It's the physical side. Physically, what needs to happen? What do we need to calm? What properties do we need? But then the other side is the psychological side, mental and emotional support, because we have different emotions that we hold in different parts of our body. The gut, for example, is worry. I come from a long line, ancestral line of warriors.
Sure.
And, so anybody with gut issues, or if you're having gut issues right now, that you're worrying about something. And so if we find certain oils that are particular to support you during times of worry and support you on the physical side, then you're going to get greater support that way. So, early on from the beginning, that was something that, we just put into everything that we made that way. And so that was the approach when anything you come up with me. At this point, I've probably formulated something for everything.
Right.
I've probably made several thousand blends at this point. But there's an emotional side, and that's the big key, is to find what's the emotion behind that.
Yeah.
And make sure you're supporting from every angle you can.
Sure. Do you feel like, even though, let's say 10 people come to you, do you find that there's almost a common emotional kind of request, even though they want 10 different things? Do you find common denominators almost?
Yeah, and I love that word that you use, because that's how I explain it in the school, is when I'm teaching you how to formulate and how to blend, is we're looking for common denominators. What's the common denominator? There's over, 300 different essential oils. We don't work with all of those. You really just need, 5-10 oils to work with. But we're looking for that commonality. And then to take that a step further is, okay, so, peppermint, we know, is great for headaches. It cools heated emotions, hot flashes, headaches, the heat surges, the fevers. But what that does on the psychological side is it's a very extroverted oil. So it's that one oil that when you walk in a room, it's like, hey, y'all, I'm here. Let's get the party started. We're going to have fun. We're going to take in new ideas and be creative and just be open to take everything in. And so having that, extroverted side to it, we're going to see that, okay, it's bringing in those properties for that. So I forget where I was going with that. I got so excited talking about
That's okay.
peppermint.
Oh, the common denominator. Yes.
The common denominator. So we're going to do that. But this is where it changes.
Okay.
So yes, peppermint has all of that common denominator, but where it's going to change is your response to that. So what I do is I'm going to have you smell peppermint, right? So then you smell it, and on a scale,
she just waved it to me, which I love.
Sniffing it through the computer.
Yeah.
But you want to connect with that oil and kind of just take it in and quickly, on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, ooh, gross, no way. 10 being, oh my gosh, I love it. Where does it fall for you? And then we're going to next, because you want to do that before you place judgment, right? Give it a number before you place judgment. And then we're going to talk about, okay, what emotions and thoughts just came up? What feelings did that bring up within you? And then people will start telling me that. Yes. So now we can apply that common denominator specific to, because scent is going to trigger memories and it's going to trigger emotions.
Yes.
Usually those ones that are very buried, hidden, trapped, that are causing us the most distress in our life that we don't even know.
Right.
Sometimes you know it.
Yeah.
But once you know how you feel, oh man, that just, I don't know, that just, boy, I just got, it really hurt my head, or I'm feeling it in my throat. And I just kind of got mad all of a sudden. Okay, so now the oil's telling you it can help you work on what you're mad about. Now let's let's dig a little bit deeper. And then we're going to say, where do you feel it in your body? Well, I'm feeling it in my head and I'm feeling it in my throat. Okay, so you're overthinking something and you're not speaking up for yourself. You've lost your voice and you're mad about that. You're mad because you can't talk about what's making you mad.
Right.
So let's dig a little bit deeper and find out why. And then we go to the next oil. And then, so, you know, you had mentioned a Scenttuitive. That's part of the Scenttuitive journey.
Okay.
Is we read into that and journey on that a little bit more. And sometimes I'll get intuitive readings that come in. And so with that common denominator, we're going to customize that and personalize that for each person based on what makes you you. What emotions have you been through in your life? What events have you been through a lot in your life that have helped you but have also hindered you? And our goal is to balance that through aromatherapy. Yes.
I love that too, that you don't just dismiss the smell. If they're like, ooh, I hate that. I don't want anything to do with that. And I don't usually use the word hate, but I feel like some people do hate things. Yeah. So if they share that, I love that you just kind of dig into it, which is almost uncomfortable, right? Because it's not, you know, some people aren't challenged and they're allowed to just say, okay, I don't like that. Let's move on. Yeah. And then I love that you get to dig deeper and then say, you know, well, what is it about the scent? And then you can allow almost healing for that, because it's like you're saying, it's so strong. And isn't it because the smell goes directly to your brain?
Right. Yeah. It goes straight to your brain, and it's still telling you, even though you don't like the smell, it's giving you a message. It's saying, hey, all I'm doing, I'm not here to make you mad. I'm not here to make you angry. I'm just bringing something into your awareness. It's time for you. You keep saying you want all these things. Well, I'm letting you know what's in the way. Scent is beautiful. It's never going to let you lie to yourself. And it's going to tell you, I'm just here to bring it into your awareness. You're not liking it means you're not ready. But I'm just planting the seed so you can eventually be ready.
Yes.
And then that's why we go on that journey, and it holds this safe place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I will share that I have, I've had spinal surgery twice, and I have a missing piece. It's not the whole vertebrae, but I have a missing limb on the left side of my spine, where I had surgery, and it kept feeling like there was a thumb pressing in my back for a long, long time. And I actually went to a psychic fair, of all things, and she said, hey, you have hip issue. You know, I can feel that pain in your hip. And she said, you should really look into peppermint oil, which had never ever even been on my radar, right? And I thought, okay, you know, of course, sure, I'll do anything, because I thought, do I need to do a certain stretch? Because I actually have a tumor disease, and I didn't know if it was another tumor growing in there. I feel like the doctor probably took the bone and then told me about it, you know, after surgery, which I was still, you know, on anesthesia, so I didn't remember, which is fine. I mean, I don't need to remember that. And so then I started using peppermint oil, and come to find out, I actually have arthritis in the spot where the bone was. But peppermint oil is the one thing that seems to help it, because I didn't want to keep taking, you know, medication. I don't want to take, you know, like a back and body pill or, you know, things for arthritis. But peppermint oil has really been my go-to for that pain.
And it's such a powerful analgesic. So it is going to bring pain relief physically, but it also brings pain relief. Whatever it does physically, it's going to do psychologically too. So anytime you're going through emotional pain, you know, and going back, and you can even evaluate that a little bit, you know, further. You know, the spine is about being supported. The hips are about movement and moving forward, letting go of the past, moving forward. You know, being on the left side, it could be connected with female energy on the left and male energy on the right. So knowing all that, you gravitate to certain oils, and peppermint is an ideal. Yeah. Intellectually, it's an ideal oil, but intuitively, I mean, it's awesome that that's what you're drawn to, and your body's like, yes, give me more.
Yes. And I will share too, every time I use peppermint oil, not necessarily just on my hip, anywhere, I feel like it almost is like a cleanser, like it just like, you know how you're saying like it's just like, hey, I'm here, but it almost there was a toothbrush commercial where the cartoon's head flipped open. That's kind of how I feel. Like I just feel like it flips my head open. You know what I mean? And like cleanses everything and kind of just as everything is fresh. You know what I mean?
It's very, very refreshing, and it does. Yeah. And it's funny that you talk about the head popping open. It helps you take in new ideas. It helps you get out of your way so you can take in new ideas. It's something I used to do early on when I learned that. So anytime I wanted to introduce a new idea or a new project to my husband, I would diffuse peppermint. Ooh. And then eventually he caught on and he's like, I smell peppermint. What do you want?
Oh gosh.
So yeah. He learned my little trick, but but we still use peppermint.
Yeah. That's funny. Our daughter wasn't sure. She had a diffuser and didn't know how many drops to put in it. She put way too many, and then her boyfriend came home and it was burning his eyes.
Yeah, more is not better in aromatherapy.
Right.
Less is more, less is better. And plus, the plants, just talking about sustainability for a moment, the plants, there's plants that are sacrificed to give us these beautiful essences, to be extracted and to be distilled. And so, just doing our part for the environment and for the earth. Yeah, we don't need 20 drops, one drop can go a long way.
Right. Yes. So if the I guess because there's so many other options do you have a favorite that you either like to make or like to talk about?
Essential oil?
Yes.
It's like asking what's your favorite kid. It depends on the day. I love them. I love them all. I think essential oils are like people. They all have a personality. They all have a special gift and a talent. They're going to do different things. There's some that's going to lift energy. So when we're depressed, we need those ones, lemon, peppermint, eucalyptus, that's going to raise us up. But when you're in a high, frantic, anxiety state, then we need calming ones like lavender and chamomile and geranium. So it really is just going to depend on what you need, what I need for the day. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do what I call freestyle blending. I'll just go intuitively and grab some and not even know what I'm picking and make a blend that way, because I feel that's exactly what I needed for the day.
Yeah.
To get going. So it's hard. I don't know that I could pick a favorite. Roman chamomile will always have a special place in my heart, because that was the first oil that introduced me to this healing world.
Yes.
That introduced me to me, right? The second part of me, the healing part of me. But other than that, I love them all.
Yeah. Do you have people so let's say if you're at a party or a gathering, do people come up knowing that you're like the aromatherapy person or the scent lady? Do they come up and just kind of smell you to see what's going on, or how does that work?
Yeah, people usually go, you smell good. And, or, man, I thought that was you that smelled. And, it's an interesting, that could go two ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell people when I'm going to a networking event and I introduce ahead of time, I'm like, just follow your nose, come right to me. And I have a different necklace on today, but normally I have on an aromatherapy diffuser necklace, and I'll have different scents.
Okay.
And sometimes what's in the diffuser's not for me, it's for the people I'm meeting or somebody I'm going to have a consultation with.
Okay.
So if I know somebody's going through something, some type of emotional drama or trauma, then I will have a blend that I know they're going to resonate with, or that's going to help put them at ease or make them feel loved and worthy, and important and safe. Cinnamon is a great oil to promote safety and security. It's like a hug in a bottle.
Oh, I love that.
I'll have sometimes that, it's also if you're selling a home, you diffuse cinnamon because it invites people in, makes them feel at home. So yeah, people come, and then once you know me, then they're like, well, I smelt you across the room.
Right.
So that's always fun.
Yeah. I love that. I'm going to write this down too, so I don't lose the one about cinnamon. That's great. I did have a question. So, at one time I had heard, so I make, just like an apple cider mix. So I take actual cider, I put in some orange slices with it. And then, I had read somewhere to put in some oil. But then I also heard, no, you shouldn't be ingesting the oils. So what is your take on that?
That's such a hot, controversial topic.
Yeah.
I'm also vice president with the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, and we get that question all the time.
Okay.
And so there is a safe way to ingest oils.
Okay.
But you really need to be educated for several different reasons. So number one, I'm not a huge advocate for internal because I've always gotten results with topical, because anything you put on topical is a topical ingestion. It's still going to get in the body.
Okay.
And it just goes through a different route. And having, especially people that have gastrointestinal issues, esophagus issues, it can burn. And a lot of people, they don't properly emulsify the essential oil. So if you're making something and you want to put in, remember, like one drop is equivalent to it's probably 100 times more potent than the herb. Right. So you're not going to be dropping in a lot. One drop is going to be way too much powerful. Right. So you want to emulsify that in a fat-based carrier, like an olive oil, a honey, a vegetable glycerin, something, mayonnaise, you've got to emulsify the essential oils first.
Okay.
But more importantly, there's a lot of other factors you want to consider, because somebody with liver distress, or maybe there's liver issues going on, kidney issues going on, pregnancy, gastrointestinal issues, you have to be extra careful. Because one thing we see is, people will take their water and they're dropping oils in, not emulsified. So when they drink that, this blob of oil is burning their esophagus.
Gotcha.
So you're having chemical burns on the inside, and it's burning everywhere it goes.
Oh, shoot.
And so the big thing with essential oils is emulsify them, right? Okay. Is there a time and a place to use them undiluted on the skin? If I went outside and got a mosquito bite and I'm welting up and it's itching really bad, I can take one drop of lavender. But this is a spot treatment. I know that I'm comfortable with that. And I don't do it all the time. Right. Because the way the body works, and you've got receptor sites underneath the skin, and the way the body absorbs, it really loves fat. It really loves good fat.
Okay.
So emulsifying that, long answer, but it's an important question. I'm so glad that you asked it, and I get a chance to share that important information with everybody.
Yeah.
Just, and there's safety guidelines, at JennScents.com. I have a blog right on safety. You can type in safety, and I have a long list of safety guidelines if you just want to know.
Sure.
Hey, what's right, what's not right? And then, if you can't find the answer, always let me know. So going back to the apple cider that you're making, if you're going to add cinnamon, it would be better to add the cinnamon sticks in there. But if you wanted to do, like, cinnamon, for example, is highly a skin irritant, a membrane irritant. It can burn.
Oh, okay.
And so, there's some people that use it in wart salves to actually burn off the wart, because it burns the skin. So we want to be careful with that.
Okay.
So I wouldn't recommend in something like that you would need an essential oil in there. But if you're going to, just make sure that you emulsify that, put that in very heavily emulsified. And then if you're going to put it in honey, then you can take that honey.
Right.
And use that.
Okay. When you're mentioning the carrier oil, so when you put something, I guess my question would be, if you don't have a mixture, so if they just have the actual essential oil and it's not emulsified, and they want to put it directly on their skin, should they put a carrier oil on or an emulsifier on first, and then they can put the essential oil on?
That's what I recommend.
Okay.
You can take a roll-on and put oil, and everybody's got sunflower oil or grapeseed oil or olive oil at home, which are all great. But having a carrier, you can even make like a massage oil, doing a little bit. This is a larger bottle, but you can always do smaller bottles.
Yes.
And put your carrier oil in, and then put your essential oil in, cap it and shake it, or, roll it and emulsify that. Our goal is to take the essential oil and emulsify that inside of a fat-based carrier, and then you would apply this to the skin.
Okay.
I mean, could you slather on olive oil and then drop oils on, because, we're lazy or we're in a hurry? I mean, don't do that all the time. And, you definitely want to be careful with citrus oils, because some of them are photosensitive, meaning, if you put them on and you go outside in the sun, it can cause some pigmentation.
Oh, gotcha.
So there's that's why the safety guidelines are important.
Right.
But if you're just getting started, just put it in a carrier and then use it properly. We don't need to be testing and trying and seeing what we can get away with.
Right.
The goal is to support our bodies and not harm it in any way. And if you don't know, and you don't have the experience and practice, then definitely use an emulsified oil.
Right. And instead of mixing your own, just get to your website and they can order it.
Yeah, I can always make it for you.
Right.
I have a store, so I can make it for you. And I have a school if you want to learn the safety and you want to learn how to make that. I feel my life was spared, so I can share what I've learned. Some people are in a state where I just don't have time to make it. I don't want to make it. I don't want to learn anything. Just do it for me. And some people, like I was, are like, oh no, I want to know. I want to know everything. Tell me everything. And how do I do it? And what does all this mean? And show me everything that I've learned. That way I don't have to waste but I don't have to take 20 years to be where you are. I share everything, and you can take that forward.
So do you have options that people can already order? Do you have like standard options they can select or do their own blend?
Yeah, I have both. So I have signature blends. So I have products that have worked time and time again for my clients. They're my best sellers.
Okay.
That you can order right off the bat. And then I do offer custom blending. That's probably what I'm most famous for, is my custom blending. Mm-hmm. I have a questionnaire. You fill out all of these different, you answer all these questions for me. We do get a little personal, because the more personal we get, the better I can blend for you.
Okay.
I take all of that and interpret that and translate that. That way I capture you in a bottle. I get everything about you, everything that's telling me in a bottle, and that's your personal blend right now. Okay. And you're going to use that until it doesn't smell good anymore, or you feel like, I'm past that chapter. I'm ready for a new chapter. Let's get a new blend that's going to help me get through this next chapter.
Okay. So if I order something and it's my own blend, and then let's say, 500 other people are ordering their own blend, do you have those blends available, or no, because it's specific to that person? So it's not like a Jenny blend, Jenny 2024 blend.
Everybody's got their personal. I have a set signature blends, and then everybody gets their custom blend. But if you come back and say, listen, I've got 500 people who love my blend, can you make a formal Genergy blend that's my signature, but that I can share with everybody that I come in contact with? Sure, I could do that.
Yeah.
We could just officially make it an official product.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds amazing. You just got a hot flash.
I got oils for that
too. Right. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add before we kind of point people to your website or where to find you?
Yeah, I just want people to, embrace their journey wherever you are right now. This is exactly where you should be. We all, we're all at different places in our life, and we shouldn't be comparing, ourselves. And I had a friend, who explained this really well. It's like, when we compare ourselves, we forget that we're taking our chapter 1 and comparing it to somebody's chapter 20. It's not the same. And so just know, you're important with who you are. You are valuable with who you are right now in everything you do. And I think, what I love about Scents is they help us come home to ourselves. They help us love ourselves and feel valued and appreciated and worthy. Because when we feel that way, we can shine in anything we do. So, I encourage everybody, to take a little bit longer to smell your scent, your essential oils, really connect with them and feel the message that they're giving you, because they can tell you a lot and they can support you in everything that you're doing.
Yes. I love that too. I guess because I've never even thought of it having an emotional connection. So I love that new perspective on that.
Yeah, I speak essential oils, and that's my talent. That's my superpower is hearing what they say and delivering those messages to you through a custom blend, but sometimes verbal messages that they bring, to you as well.
Yes, I love that so much. Scent intuitive. Yes. And you did speak another language. We were laughing about that before the show.
You're right. Yes, I do. I speak essential oil.
Yes. Great. Well, Jennifer, where can our audience members find you and order their oil or their specific blend that they would like to make?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. JennScents. So JennScents. .com. You can go right there, and I have a store. I also have a link to the school. And then I do, if people want more training on essential oils or just take a free mini class to learn a little bit more of so tell me more about how they help emotional balance. I've got that over at the school. But you can go to JennScents.com and find products or find education.
Awesome.
Or contact me if you have questions.
Yeah, that would be so great. And we will put the contact information in the show notes, so you can just click in the information below. And definitely reach out to Jennifer.
Thank you so much. This is so fun. I love talking about oils, but I especially love talking about oils with somebody else who loves oils and who has had great experience with them as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for our audience to be able to find you and connect with your products and learn so much more. And the safety information sounds amazing. I'm definitely going to check into that too, because I've had some questions and, just want to make sure that you're safe. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. So, thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to working with you.
Yes, I look forward to staying connected and helping you and helping your listeners just really experience the true power of aromatherapy and in the right way.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.